welcome back to Sorare Sunday, and this is for the week of the 12th of May to the 18th of May. So let's have a look at what happened this week. Okay, so looking back at how we did last weekend from the 9th to 13th, we got one card and we got 21 essence, including 2 rare essence, 19 limited essence, and the 300 common essence. I've stopped doing the common from this point forward. I don't care about getting essence that much, and it's just annoying to have it keep like messing up my results by saying how much essence I've got. Where it says like you got 300, it's really hard to tell how much you've actually got, like the stuff that you care about. So I've just stopped with that. So we are going to just have a quick look at where we got all of the things. So Premier League, we got 1000 XP through these two teams. We had an all right in season lineups, but nothing too amazing. Obviously, Anana being dropped means that we didn't have a keeper for that team, so we weren't going to get anything for that. But going down to our classics, we actually did pretty well. Our West Ham stack smashed it because they played United and they won. And it looks like a lot of players did very well. Bowen got scoring, Socek scoring, Wan-Bissaka getting an assist is pretty decent. And the tier 3 card that we got was a little bit annoying. It was Mason Mount. So, not that I don't want Mason Mount, but I just traded for him like a day before I got this. So if I'd known that, I wouldn't have done the trades to get him with my other stuff. So I've been quite heavily on the trading, trying to just get cards which I want for next season classics. Because they're at a lower price point now, and I've got cards which I won't be using next season probably, and quite a lot of them. So I was trying to kind of shift them to get just cards that I wanted more. But Mason Mount isn't a bad shout at the moment. He seems to fit Almiron's system, and he's like worth like anywhere between £3 to £1.50. So yeah, he's not a bad pull for like a free card out of the rewards. So I wasn't crazy happy about it, but I was happy that I got a fairly decent card. And he was, I think, a tier 3. So let's go back and have a look how the rest of the week went. So yeah, and the rest of the classics we didn't get anything for, but we got some really good scores. Mark Gahey getting 100, and Bednarak getting a 76. Annoying that we didn't have a keeper or a Solanke didn't get played, because we could have probably got something pretty decent from that. Like I said, commons I'm not playing anymore, so I'm not that fussed. La Liga we didn't do great with. We've kind of given up on La Liga a little bit. I've traded a fair few number of like La Liga cards away as well, so I'm not really focusing too much on it anymore. Next season maybe I'll try and do a stack, but I'm not sure what team I want to do, because I want to do a cheap stack, but I don't want to do like a relegation fodder stack, if that makes sense. So like people being promoted up, or like a team which has just not done well for like a lot of seasons. So I'm thinking maybe Villarreal, but I'm not sure. I may go for more mid-table, maybe one that doesn't play in Europe because it will be cheaper. But let me know if you have any suggestions for a La Liga team to pick up that isn't like obviously the Barças or the Reals or the Atletis. It'll be quite handy to know what you think. Obviously, there's Real Sociedad as well, but I think they might be a bit pricey. We'll see. And also, Zubamendi is going to Arsenal, so he's going to be an Arsenal card next season. So potentially, I could use him in Premier League Classics. We'll see. Going down with the Bundesliga, same sort of deal with La Liga. I traded a lot of my cards for Bundesliga actually, so I've not got a lot. I probably won't be playing many Bundesliga teams anymore. They're just kind of, I don't have enough cards to make it worth it. So it's, it is what it is. In MLS, we managed to get 5 essence for this team, which actually did pretty decent. And for this team, we weren't winning anything anyway with it. But I traded away. I can't even remember who I traded. Oh, it was the keeper, Takayoka. There was a good trade which someone countered with, and I was like, do you know what? I can take one of my MLS keepers going for that trade. So that one's null and void. In the classics, we didn't get anything, but we were close with this one. We were on the cusp of getting something with this team. Then in champion, we actually did pretty decent this time round. We got 5 and 2 essence from these two teams, and 500 for XP from this team, but nothing in the classics. Closest was the middle one, but we don't have enough champion keepers to have classics anymore. So I've kind of limited how many teams I'm playing now, because there's no point playing a keeper that's never going to play. I don't think you're going to get anything unless like you have a really bad week for everyone else. So you're just hoping on everyone else doing rubbish as well. In terms of Challenger, we had a pretty rubbish week for that. But we were close with this one. 1 point off was a bit annoying, but it would only have been XP, so it is what it is. And then in Classic, we did get something for this team here with Clinton getting the highest score, to a goal and assist with 2 essence from that. And then our 2 rare essence came from this team. Hibs team was playing against Celtic. So Hibs, when they play against Celtic and Rangers, you're basically not. Those two teams own the Scottish League. They did all right. They got the first goal, but then they fell apart in the second half. So it wasn't to be. But yeah, once they're playing other teams in the league, they get really good scores. But there's always 4 games in the season you know are going to be a struggle, and that's Celtic and Rangers. But everyone else, like this keeper here, getting a clean sheet, Ichikawa, doing pretty well. So I'm quietly confident we're going to be able to build up a little bit of essence as we go with our rare J League stuff at least. So here's hoping anyway. But I am going to keep trying to trade my way up to build up a bit of a stronger J League and K League team with rares. In terms of contender in season, we only got 500 XP, didn't do that great. And in the classics, we got nothing, with a couple of players doing all right, but other than that, doing fairly just kind of middling numbers, not great. And then 5 essence for this under 23s team, which actually did fantastic. 4 60s and a 46, like a goal, and a clean sheet is pretty decent for under 23s. So I'm very happy with that one. And then nothing from the special. We just kind of chucked in a load of players which we had left, so it wasn't. Although Sorare getting a pretty high score and Salinger, so that team could have done something if maybe Markahara was playing or something like that. But yeah, so that weekend we did. I was quite happy with what we got, to be fair. That's a fairly decent result for a weekend, I think. I was going to say methinks, but I don't like that. And then for the midweek, because there's a lot more games being played because it's coming to the end of the season, they're trying to cram everything in. We actually got quite a lot of essence for the midweek as well. We got 2 more for the rare and 13 for limited. And to be fair, saying I'm not focusing on La Liga, I got 4 essence from 2 teams. So maybe I'm doing a little bit of La Liga because we still have these players. I think I won, or I'd like a done an essence pull for Valgent, and he got 3. He got a clearance off the line, or maybe 2 clearances off the line and a goal, which got him a score of 86 against Real Madrid, which is very good. Leo Roman is really annoying because he doesn't play regularly. He plays like every other game. So once he's a regular starter for Mallorca, he'll be an awesome keeper to have, but he's just so hard to predict when he's going to play. But yeah, so 4 essence from the La Liga stuff, 3 essence from this MLS team, which actually didn't do great. Like Kramashki getting a 24, Royals getting a 49, but Jean Jacques getting a 65 and Russell Lowe getting a 72 really saved that team and got us a 3 essence. And then going down to Challenger, we got 2 essence and 2 essence from these 2 teams. A little bit of a Utrecht, and then Florian from, I can't remember, Zwolle, yeah. And then it's not even Florian, it's Floranus. What a name, eh? And then what are these called? Hercules team with kind of, well, it's not even, yeah, it is a Hercules team actually because Rots plays, so with Clinton included from Sparta. So yeah, those 2 getting 4 essence for us. Nothing in the classics. Contender, our Hibs team, like I said, when they're not playing against Celtic or Rangers, you get fairly good scores. 2 essence from them. And then we couldn't get any more rare teams because not every J League and K League team was playing. So we kind of did a mishmash. But with our other Hibs team, which wasn't rare, we got some limited essence and then nothing else from our contenders stuff. And then our under 23s, I'm trading Jesus Ferreira or Ferreria. I'm not sure how you pronounce that one, but I'm trying to get another card using him because he's worth around about £4 or £5. So that one, I was in the middle of doing some trades and I forgot that he was in a team. So this team was nowhere near getting anything anyway because of our keeper getting 0 scores, so it wasn't a problem. And then nothing from the specials from classics, but Glenn Glesness getting 79 was a pretty good score. Of Lap getting a goal and the 60. Gray getting a 62. So there was some good players, that just not quite enough to get anything because there's a lot of people who play these special competitions. So that was how we did this week. We're now going to go on to our player to watch. And my player to watch is Daiju Sasaki. I believe that's how you say it. Apologies, I'm bad at pronouncing things. And he is a J League player, 25-year-old midfielder who plays is a starter as well, who plays for Vissel Kobe, who are a pretty good team in the J League. And if you can see his scores, he's very good at getting goals and assists. He's kind of like come up through the youth, I think, for Vissel. Let me just double check. Yeah, come up through their youth system and has been a fantastic player for them for a few seasons now. He's fairly affordable to pick up off the market. 188, 187. You can even get special edition. I love the Sakura cards. So like, yeah, those ones are amazing. You can pick it up for 188. That's pretty decent, right? For rare, you can pick him up for a tenner, which like for a player that gets fairly consistent scores, that's pretty decent for a rare card, So definitely a player which gets you good score. Your J League is going to run through, I believe, May and June. So when all the other leagues are stopping, J League's still going. So if you're looking at picking one up now, then a player like this is one that can work for you in the short term and potentially in long term, because I think he's going to be a regular. And yeah, I think overall he's just a great player, really cheap to pick up, and has been proven at getting goals and assists at the level he's at the moment with Vissel. So, and he seems to be kind of a favourite among the fans and stuff like that. So I think he's going to be picked fairly regularly, So you're not going to see him drop too often unless he's got an injury. And he's been pretty good on that regard as well. He's not had like many injury setbacks in his career so far. So, yeah, he's my shout. He's a good one for if you're looking to build a J League team, which would be in contender. If you're not, obviously, ignore everything I'm saying. But that was my player to watch. We're going to go to what's in the box, but we don't have any boxes. But let's just go to what's in the box. What's in the box? Okay, so we are going to do an essence pull. But what I think I might also show you is some of the trades that I've made. So this can at least be a section where we talk about something, right? So let me just go onto my trades and I'll show you the ones that have been accepted and what I've traded and what for. Okay, so far what I've traded, and we're going from most recent down. I've got a couple of Girona players for some of my cards. I traded Gabriel Sara. I'm not going to build on Galatasaray. He's been a very middling player this season. He's either been injured or he's been very off the boil, and then he'll have like a really good game or two, and then he'll be just off the boil again. So he's not a player which I wanted to keep hold of. I've picked up a young, his name's Krejciki? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Ladislav is a great name. Let's go with Ladislav. He seems to be fairly decent for Girona, but he also plays international for Czech. So I picked him up mainly because you can play him internationals as well, but also he plays for Girona. I picked up Yangel Herrera for Girona as well. I'm kind of thinking about maybe a Girona stack. So we'll see if that works out. I've got a few more pokers in the fire to try and get some Girona players, but no one's accepting or anything yet. But we'll see. I picked up. So what I've done for the next week, which you'll see, is I've done a Juniper League rare stack, mainly built from Club Bruges, but also some of the Club Bruges players are so expensive. They're like 40, 50, 60 quid. So I've picked up a few players which I can bring in, um, like if like one of the because some of the players which I picked up for Club Bruges are like 20% chance of playing. These players are a bit more likely to play, so I've traded these players for Bruni Nsimba, and he is a forward for Denda, and gets recently played really well. But also, if you check back, he's a fairly consistent goal scorer and assists. So I picked him up just to kind of bolster my forwards when there's people who aren't playing. And for Park Sang Hyuk, I traded these guys. I got a rare card and then a couple of limited, all mainly K League. But I was fairly happy with those ones because they all are playing players and get fairly good scores. Curtis Jones, I picked up with Sam Johnston and Shea Hyung Hu. I think he's going to be fairly decent over the next couple of years, so I want to just have him for like maybe a classic player that I can play. Tammy Abraham, I think, might move somewhere this season, so I did a trade for these players for him. I think he again is going to move somewhere and probably because he's only 25, 26. It feels like he's been around for like years and years because he burst onto the scene quite young. I think he will either stay at Milan and do fairly well, or he'll move somewhere and because he's still technically, I think, still with Roma. So he'll either go back to Roma and they'll sell him, go back to Roma and they'll play him, or Milan will keep him. It's one of those three options, and all of them seem fairly good. I picked up Joel Ordonez, I believe it is, for quite a few cards, but I think it was a bit of a bargain, to be honest, because he's worth way more than what I traded him for, I think. But he is a very good defender for Club Brugge and also an international for Ecuador. So, as you can see, building up a team, and then I did a few. These two strikers, they play on and off for Club Brugge, Nilsson and Skoras. So I did a few trades, not very high valued cards, but I managed to get them on. There's my Mason Mount trade. So Kudus even is rumored to be moving to Saudi, so I decided to move him on before he does because he'll be a useless card then. And I managed to pick up Mason Mount, so I needed him at the time. I wasn't too mad with that trade. Now I'm like, I probably could have got someone else with those two, but it's not a problem. Marcus Edwards has been rumoured to signing for. He was on loan with Burnley. He's rumoured to be signing permanently with them next season. Burnley are going to be in the Premier League. So I picked him up for 56p. He should potentially be playing Premier League next season. I can play him in the Classics. Ondieka is a Club Brugge midfielder. And I managed to pick him up for Jose Sarr, Celinda, and Mafadidi. And then Norden Xhaka, I managed to pick up for all these cards. I paid a little bit over for him, but he's a rare card, and I'm able to. And I think next season he should be Club Brugge numero uno. So hopefully next season he'll pay off this trade, and that's basically all of the trades that I've done so far. So just to give you a rundown, because I've talked a lot about doing trades, that's what I've done. I've also been trading a little bit in the NBA side, but I might look at that when we go over to the NBA. But for now, let's have a look at this essence pull. So we only have enough essence to do one T5 plus pull with limited. We are going to wait with bated breath to be able to do a rare T5 pull with 20, but it's going to take us a long time to get there, I think. But we are going to get there. This is the whole point of me trying to get some of these rare cards. I want to get some stacks that will actually earn me some slow essence, and I'll get hopefully next season one or two cards through either Essence or, because it's classics, you can win cards, can't you, and boxes and stuff. So hopefully it will pay off next season. But let's do our Essence pull now and see what we get. Portugal. Defender. Okay, so Zé Pedro, 27-year-old defender. From the looks of it, he plays. I'm not very up with the Portuguese league, but let's have a look at him and see how good he is. Okay, so like we said, Zé Pedro is Portuguese defender who plays for Porto. He does play. It looks like he came on and played very well against a fair few number of players, but he is not. He's a very unusual one, isn't he? He's not like a regular starter from what you can tell. He does come on a lot, but or he does play a lot, but he doesn't play every game. Through injury maybe sometimes, but also just through being dropped and put on the bench. For a 27-year-old, that's a little bit worrying because it's not because he's a youth player. So I'm not sure how good he will be. He's only worth like 175 to 50p. So he's not worth a lot of money. I think I'll keep hold of him, see if he moves in the summer transfers. If not, he'll probably be a trade card that I use. He's a challenger and a European champions, apparently. So, because obviously Porto are in Europe. He could be one to keep hold of and play in European competitions midweek, but obviously it looks like he doesn't get played in them. It looks like he plays more domestic. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was a great pull or not, but it was not too bad. It could have been way worse. It could be a player that didn't play at all and stuff. You seem to be getting a lot more on the Essence pools. You seem to be getting a lot more players that aren't like zeroed out. You know, players which are like 18-year-olds who never play or stuff like that. I don't seem to be getting many of them at the moment, which is always good. So yeah, that was our what's in the box section. Probably need to rename it by now, but let's go on to see what's happening in NBA. Okay, so with NBA, it's going to be way shorter because not a lot's happened. We're just going to have a look at how we did this week. So Monday, we got okay with our commons, but with our limited, we didn't get anything. It's basically the same story for each one. If we've got limited, we don't have enough good limited cards for the limited amount of teams that are playing at the moment. And for commons, we do fairly well because we can get any card you want without having to pay for them. So basically, that one was fairly close, to be fair. That one was fairly close to just getting something, but we just weren't quite there. And then we have reached the point here at Thursday where we've run out of limited cards that we can actually play. So we don't have any limited lineups that we can run. But we keep winning stuff with commons, but the common stuff is only for the common market, so it's basically useless, unfortunately. I think actually there is you can get some limited stuff, but you have to get higher. So we're not quite good enough to get up to here just yet. I'd love to be able to get here at some point, but we're not picking good enough teams, unfortunately. Championship chase, we're doing all right for our common. We're looking like we're going to get 3 essence, and for our limited, it looks like we're about to get 5 because I don't think we'll drop down below that sort of number. So yeah, overall we're 45 limited essence, so we're 5 away from being able to do a T4 plus pull. But I'm thinking we're so close to the end of the season, we probably hold on to that essence and we wait until we see what happens for next season. And yeah, in terms of trades that I've done for NBA, I have done a very similar thing trying to build up rare cards out of my collection so I can play more rare cards next season. So my favorite team are the Toronto Raptors. So I've been trying to get some Raptors players, but it's really quite hard. So these are the trades I've done. I managed to pick up Colby Jones for that, which I think is fairly. I mean, looking at Colby Jones's price and what I traded him for, at the time these cards were worth way more, and Colby Jones was worth less. He's now fairly decent. I feel like I did more trades than this, but apparently only 2. So the others are all in process and hopefully going to get something. But we currently have 7. Yeah, no, I definitely did more trades because I traded these guys. 1 minute. It was under the offers received, not offers sent. That's why. So we got Hayward Highsmith for this, which again I think was a fairly good deal for us. I'm not sure if Highsmith even did that well this season, and he's had some trouble with like a car accident, which means he's in the bad books at the moment. But he should be playing. He's been picked up for a 2-year contract, I think, and his next year is his second year, maybe. But we'll see. He might be traded out, but let's see how he goes, because he was playing very well. Like last few games at least, I remember. And then Justin Champagne, I think again we got a fairly good deal. Not as like smashing because we had to. Josh Hart is a fairly good player who is playing in the playoffs, but Justin Champagne is a pretty good player, so I'm pretty happy with that one as well. And we picked up a few of the rares as well for some money. Spent around about 15 quid on these 3. So I'm trying to trade some more of my limiteds for some more Raptors players and some of my rares, depending on who I want to trade. So I'm trying to get some good Raptors players for next season, but it's obviously not going too hard into it yet because I don't know who's going to be traded at the beginning of next season and stuff like that. So that's what's happening with my NBA side of stuff. And we're just going to, I think from now on, the playoffs are going to be just commons and not being able to play limited. So it's just going to be me doing the common stuff and hoping that I can pick a good enough team and potentially maybe some of these dailies. But I'm even missing the one limited essence from doing daily compose because you have to do a limited or above. And I don't have enough limited cards to do that, which is really annoying. So yeah, let me know if you have any pointers for the new NBA season coming up. If you have any ideas, what to do with it, because it's kind of now that we're getting to the ends, like part of the playoffs, I'm kind of like running out of steam with it. There's not much as I can do, so I might just cut out the NBA section for going forward after like the next couple of weeks, unless something big happens, because it is not a lot to talk about. But yeah. And also, if you've got any trades which you'd be kind of interested in, let me know. My name is Scribble on the Wall on Sorare, so you can always have a look at my football or my NBA side and see what cards you might be interested in picking up. But yeah, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to come back next week to see some more Sorare Sunday, and I'll see you when I see you.